Welcome to The Explainer. You know, if you still think of AI as just that thing you type questions into, you're going to want to stick around because right now, a huge shift is happening. AI is quietly stepping out of the chat window and into the real world. It's not just answering our questions anymore, it's starting to run things. And today, we're pulling back the curtain on this unseen hand.
For the past couple of years, we've gotten really used to AI as this conversational partner, right? You ask it something, it gives you an answer. Simple. But that whole idea is being turned on its head. The really interesting question now is what happens when we stop giving AI prompts and start giving it goals? What happens when we let it loose to actually get things done?
All right, let's dive into this. This isn't just a simple software update we're talking about. It is a completely different way of thinking about technology. We're moving from tools that just sit there and wait for us to tell them what to do to proactive agents that can actually take the initiative themselves.
I mean, this quote from AI Weekly just nails it, doesn't it? We're not talking about chatbots anymore. We're talking about digital employees, systems you can hand a complex project to, and they'll see it through from start to finish, just like you would with a person on your team. So what is this stuff really? The fancy term is agentic AI. And here's the key difference. You don't give it a simple question. You give it a big, high-level goal, like plan my trip to Tokyo on a budget. The agent then figures out all the little steps on its own. It sets sub-goals, decides it needs to browse flights, compare hotels, check train schedules, and then it just does it, all with you barely having to lift a finger.
Okay, so that probably sounds a little like magic, right? How can a system possibly do all that without someone writing out every single instruction? Well, the answer is actually pretty amazing, and it has a lot to do with how you and I work.
Let's use an analogy. Picture a pro baseball player. A 100-mile-an-hour fastball is screaming towards them. They are not standing there with a calculator, trying to solve for trajectory and velocity. If they did that, the ball would be in the catcher's mitt before they even started.
Nope. They use something much more powerful, an internal world model. After seeing thousands and thousands of pitches, their brain has built this incredible intuitive understanding of physics. They don't calculate, they predict. They just know where that ball is going to be. And that is the secret sauce of agentic AI. By learning from enormous amounts of data, these systems build their own world models. They're not just following a rigid script. They are constantly predicting what's going to happen next, planning their actions, and then doing them, and adjusting on the fly if things change. Just like that batter swinging for the fences. Okay, so this isn't just some theory cooking in a lab. Let's look at how this is already showing up in the real world, because agentic systems are being deployed right now and, honestly, they're having a huge impact. And they're popping up all over the place. You've got fairly simple agents acting as automated travel planners, or as assistants that help software engineers write code. Some are even running entire customer service operations. But some of these applications, they are truly on another level. Let's take a modern smart building. It's run by an AI that's basically an invisible butler. It starts with what's called a digital twin, a perfect live virtual copy of the entire building. The AI is constantly sensing everything, the weather outside, the real-time price of electricity, even who's in which room. It uses that twin to predict the future, and then it acts. It'll start cooling a room 2 hours before the hot afternoon sun hits that window, using cheap energy to bank the cold air. It is literally outsmarting the sun. And if you think that's impressive, get this. A system named Robin was set up to find new treatments for an eye disease. And it didn't just analyze data, it automated the entire scientific method. It came up with its own hypotheses, designed experiments to test them, and ran them. We're talking about AI as a full-on scientific partner, speeding up discovery in ways we couldn't have imagined. So yeah, this is not just staying in the lab. This is creating a brand new, massive market. Companies are looking at this and seeing a total game changer, and believe me, they are betting billions that this is the future.
And the numbers? They're just wild. Analysts are projecting that the market for AI agents is going to explode to over $50 billion by 2030. That's not just hype. That's huge demand from industries everywhere, from logistics to finance, all scrambling to automate and get more efficient. But, and you knew there was a but, right? When you create this whole new era of autonomy, you also create a whole new class of risks. Giving systems the power to act on their own opens up vulnerabilities that are way more complex and maybe way more dangerous than what we're used to.
It's really a double-edged sword. For every incredible promise, there's a serious peril on the other side. Automated science is amazing, but that complex software can have huge security holes. Those hyper-efficient buildings are great, but the data centers needed to run them use a terrifying amount of energy. We get these awesome proactive assistants, but we risk becoming completely dependent on them. It creates economic growth, sure, but what happens to our own skills when the AI can do it all?
A perfect example was the React to Shell vulnerability that hit in late 2025. To put it simply, it was a massive flaw that let attackers take complete control of AI apps from anywhere. It was a huge, huge wake-up call that showed just how fragile these super complex, interconnected systems can be.
And then you've got the energy problem. I mean, it is just mind-boggling how much electricity it takes to power these AI models. It's gotten so extreme that tech giants like Alphabet are literally buying entire power companies just to make sure they can keep the lights on in their data centers.
And that really brings us to the fundamental trade-off we're making. We are gaining all of this unbelievable efficiency, this automation, but what we're giving up is that simple manual control, the light switch. The systems that run our world are becoming so incredibly complex that no one person can really understand them anymore.
So, that leaves us with the big one, the ultimate question. This unseen hand of AI is here. It's already running things, optimizing our world in ways we don't even notice. But as we hand over more and more of the controls, we have to ask ourselves, how do we make sure these incredibly powerful systems are working for us without us losing control of them altogether? That's the challenge we have to solve.